Well, here goes. I think they should make a movie called Kramer versus Kramer versus Kramer, where Kramer from Seinfeld gets into the act. One of my great ideas. One of my favorite memories was while I was working in the city for Cablevision before they were purchased in 2016 by Altice, a French company. I worked in the research department in a room with 5 cubicles, and we had an absolute ball simply because I was the only male in the office setup. The other 4 women were so comical, and they always pummeled me constantly as they called me Slappy. That was my nickname, and I could do nothing about it. One of the points that came up was the fact that both Gail King and Lorraine Bracca would occasionally be in front of our building on the corner of 45th and Fifth Avenue, and the women in our group would sometimes notice them also. And I, of course, told them that they were there because they were very interested in me. I got a few laughs. Yet those incidents were mild compared to what I had to endure with them. I struggle to recall many of them simply because this was about 20 years ago. But I always recall Christine throwing paper clips at me while I was on the phone, very professional. But I didn't mind, and she was by far the funniest of them all. And Hillary sat in the back of me, and she always had a rather large plant on the divider. And when she started talking to me, she would slide the plant over so we could see each other's faces. And when she would move the plant over, I would automatically move it back so I didn't have to see her. Eventually, she stopped moving the plant. And when Belkis was out on maternity leave, we brought in a temporary woman who was older than all of us. And she had such a ball with us that when she left us, she said that she never had so much fun anywhere before working in an office. And I think that the imbalance between the 4 women and myself, being the only man, made it work since they were constantly beating me up, especially Christine and Hillary and Belkis. And then there was the phone call with my wife. As the call got a bit heated between us, and we did calm down a bit. When I hung up the phone, all of them were looking at me, and someone said, "Is everything okay, Sloppy?" And I told them this was the first argument we ever had. And all of them were like, "Yeah, sure, Slappy, you're married." And when they said that, "Was it bad enough that you might be sleeping on the couch tonight?" And I replied, "I'm the king of the house. That's not going to happen." And of course, all the 4 women knew better. And lastly, the girls were also asking me how I'm doing with Gail King and Lorraine Bracco, and I told them that I'm playing it very cool, as if I didn't know them, which makes me more attractive and slick. They all looked at me like, "Yeah, right. Good luck with that." And if I may, I wanted to share a comedy routine of Joe Matarisi's comparison of Italians and Jews. And he claims most compare Italians to Jews, and he claims it's not even close. Italians are dumb Jews that are not educated, and the Jews own the buildings while the Italians build them. And the Jews always go to great schools and they own multiple properties while the Italians build the properties one brick at a time. I got this, they say. You want joints or no joints in the cement? And then there was Colin Quinn's take on Italians in New York City. As they tell their friends that they're going to move to America, and they ask, "Oh, really? What part?" And the father says, "None of your fucking business. What part? Mind your business." So they bought the volume. The Irish and the Jews were still in the house, like, "Get in the house. I'm going to talk to you." The Italians, no. They would be out playing with my friend Anthony. His father would lean out the window. "Anthony, get in the house." And he's like, "No, Dad." So, no. He shut the window, and we all knew what was going to happen next. He just feels like playing. His father comes out. "You want to play?" He beat him down the block, just beating off, knocking, knocking him down every time, banging into cars. He must have hit like 6 different cars on the block with his son. And you and all the adults are watching, and nobody would do anything. There was no child abuse in those days. And the people would just be like, "Hey, watch the antenna on my car." And everybody past the age of about 21 is familiar with the saying, "Happy wife, happy life." Now, how come men don't factor into this equation? We have to please the wife all the time, but the reverse is not taken into account. And why? And for myself, I can only do so much because I'm going to let her down somehow and somewhere. That's what husbands do. And no one's perfect, and I probably keep her happy about 50% of the time, maybe a little less. And I was in Home Goods recently with my wife, of course. I would never go in there by myself, especially during the holiday season. And as I scan the aisles, I can't help thinking about that Home Goods should change their name to Home Crap because everything in there in the store is crap. Nothing against the establishment. Leapfrog technology, I call it. There's too many techno geeks, engineers, hackers, programmers, techies, dorks leapfrogging over each other in the race to produce the new program that will become the new big thing in technology. Basically, it's all out of control and it's becoming reverse technology, by which I mean that most all of this technology is beyond the scope of these programmers. Some of the programs are practical and easy to use, but many of them are beyond our control. I know little about modern technology, but I am quite concerned about all the hacking that is going on. And this has the capacity to get out of control. So be careful, folks. And lastly, in the last couple of weeks, the freaky RFK Jr., our ingenious health secretary, has been seen on camera popping Zyn nicotine pouches, eating at McDonald's, deep frying a turkey in tallow. I had no idea what tallow is, but when I looked it up, it said that it's mostly made out of triglycerides, and discussing his years of heroin use. So this is the guy promising to make America healthy, and I'm out.